one of the essential tools of mankind. Vehicles. But they account for 32.5% of the total energy consumed in the world. The transport sector is responsible for 23% of the greenhouse gas emission in the world. In Korea, greenhouse gas emission from transport sector accounts for 19% of the total. This car-dependent transport system leads to 25.9 trillion won of traffic congestion cost, and, considering environment costs, it adds up to 68.1 trillion won. It means we are wasting money equivalent of 6.6% GDP. However, the number of registered vehicles is expected to increase continuously up to 22 million for the next 20 years. The daily mileage of a car use is around 59.2 kilometers on average. It is double the number of Japan. While traveling the same distance in different transport modes, greenhouse gas emissions from cars are 16 times higher than those from subway. Therefore, to realize green transport and to transform these car-dominant transport system into a sustainable one, ASI, or Avoid Shift Improve strategies are required. Avoid strategy for reducing the use of passenger cars. Shift strategy for shifting car users into public transport, bicycles, and walking. Improve strategy for increasing energy efficiency of transport system are required. Greenhouse gas emissions from transport sector account for 19% of total emissions in Korea, with 81% of them coming from road traveling. That is why Avoid strategy to reduce trip frequency and trip distance is required. Companies need to introduce telework system or mobile offices to minimize car use. Individuals can also do their parts by reducing the needs for car use. For example, we can use internet, telephone, TV, and brochures for shopping instead of using cars. Recently, European countries like Germany and Switzerland encourage people to reduce unnecessary car ownership and use by introducing car sharing program. In this program, people living in the same city or region can share cars at low cost altogether. Transit-oriented development (TOD) and compact cities help reduce the number of trips and distance by cars. In Canada and Australia, the weekend car insurance scheme has been introduced to reduce unnecessary car use during weekdays. Together with no driving on a day of the week program and congestion pricing, there is an eco-pass scheme that collects a toll based on the amount of emissions from vehicles that pass through designated areas. Increasing parking fees in Central Business District is another effective way to avoid car use. Shift strategy means the change of transport mode from private cars into low-carbon emission modes, such as public transport, bicycles, and walking. To make shift strategy work, it is essential to improve the speed and convenience of public transport, and it is also important to provide better environment for walking and bicycles. For example, the median bus lanes, Metropolitan Express buses that decrease the number of stops into 6, and the Bus Rapid Transit (BRT) need to be expanded in all metropolitans. The introduction of the Metropolitan Express Railway, the expansion of a high-speed train, and the electrification of the existing railway are also required. The use of transport cards for unified public transport fare collection is another important shift strategy. According to a recent study, walking accounts for 35.5% of the modal share on average in 5 metropolitan areas. It is comparable to that of cars. This means that walking should be considered as an independent transport mode. About 2% of passenger cars are driven less than 1 kilometer per trip. This can be shifted to walking and bicycles. The pedestrian priority roads and pedestrian priority zones can be a good policy direction for promoting walking, and it should be actively implemented. In addition, bicycle road improvement, introduction of the Bike Rapid Transit, and a public bicycle system should be promoted. To ensure the better connection with public transport, bicycles need to be allowed to carry even in the subway and buses, and more bicycle parking facilities need to be provided at the railway stations and bus stops. For the improved strategy, all new technologies to enhance vehicle efficiency can be developed. It includes introduction of environmental friendly cars, such as electric cars and hydrogen fuel cell cars. For this purpose, the Korean government made it obligatory for car manufacturers to produce eco-friendly vehicles that meet 17 kilometers per liter fuel efficiency and 140 grams per kilometer greenhouse gas emission by 2015. Individual drivers must reduce sudden acceleration, sudden stop, and idling by changing their driving behaviors, and must realize eco-driving to minimize fuel consumption. The Ministry of Land, Transport and Maritime Affairs is trying to widely implement the ITS project, which minimizes traffic congestion based on the intelligent road and vehicle technology. National Strategy for Sustainable Transport and Logistics is under development. It includes Transport Sustainability Survey and Assessment for local governments, limitation of total traffic amount for designated areas, and development of local sustainable transport plan. Accordingly, the greenhouse gas that can be reduced will reach up to 20% by 2020, comparing with 2005. But even if all vehicles on the road will be replaced with eco-friendly vehicles to reduce greenhouse gas emission, the social cost of traffic congestion and accidents will still exist. Therefore, proactive participation of the public, or me-first attitude, is inevitable to realize actual greenhouse gas reduction. The Earth is getting warmer. The fuel energy cost will continue to rise. The economic loss due to traffic congestion reaches astronomical levels. The shift from private cars to public transport, bicycles, and walking is a worldwide trend. The Sustainable Transport Policy, which can be summarized into traffic reduction, transport shift, and green transport technology, is the only solution to our prevailing transport problems and will allow our descendants to enjoy the environment as much as we do.